Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sharp, St. Andrews class of '68, and welcome to the Rocks and Razorbacks podcast. Here, we feature conversations with remarkable alumni, teachers, and administrators from both Middleton and St. Andrews high schools. This is a great way to share meaningful stories and keep our memories alive of growing up in West Ashland. Now for today's show.
So I've been banging my brain on how to introduce St. Andrews right-handed pitcher Mike Cook. Let's look at the evidence. He practically grew up on Playground Road. While a rock, he was nearly impossible to hit and had great power at the plate. He's all-conference, and he's drafted by Philadelphia. Well, Mike turned down that offer to play for South Carolina, where he became a first-team All-American selection by the coaches and Baseball America. Add to that, Mike was a first-round draft pick, 19th overall by the California Angels. He took that offer and went on to play with 6 professional baseball teams in his career. Taking all this into consideration, I'm going with Mike is easily one of the best baseball players to ever come out of St. Andrews and Middleton high schools. By the way, he probably hates my introduction. You'll see how modest of a man he is today. Mike, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had me. I understood you've been doing some podcasts prior to this about the Middleton St. Andrews, and I haven't seen them yet, but my brother said they were pretty interesting, so I figured I'd give it a try.
You, along with myself and so many young athletes from Middleton and St. Andrews, started at St. Andrews Playground Road. What was it like for you?
It was enjoyable, very enjoyable. I pretty much stayed there year-round. My mom ended up getting a job there being the ladies director or girls director. But I mean, I played all the sports. I was always there. My dad coached. My brother played out there, so we lived there.
It's such a joyful memory for me. When it comes to anything athletic, that was probably my glory days. Yeah. You went on to some incredible glory days. But how much do you maybe appreciate the St. Andrews Playground days?
Oh, it taught you to play anywhere. If you could play in a dirt field that had like nothing but sand and clay, when you went to a good field with grass on it, it made a world of difference. And to our advantage, nobody else could play on it, so we had advantages at home as well.
Funny. True. Yeah. Were there some coaches or teammates that seemed to, encourage you, push you to, you were always at the next level a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe ball playing was more natural coming to you than some others. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. When I was young, I had the ability to throw the ball hard. My first 2 coaches at the playground were Billy Port and Richard Wieters. So I figure if I can learn from them 2 guys, that's a good start. And then from then on, bad luck for me, my father was a coach for the rest of my days. So he was hard.
Wow. So you did Dixie Youth and then went up the ladder from there?
T-ball, coaches, I did it all.
How does today's St. Andrews Park compare to when we were younger?
Oh boy, 1,000 times better.
What does it mean to you to be back here just looking around like this?
It brings back some memories. A lot of good times here. A lot of good times.
Back in the late 70s and 80s, like our time period, I'm class of 79, you're 82.
Yeah.
What were some other players that you remember that went on to play beyond high school?
Let's see. With me, Keith Silvers, he went to Lamar and had some good years. He got drafted and he had an exceptional A-ball, and then he got hurt and he wasn't able to play. My catcher, Chip Russell, he went on to play at Coastal. The year we went to the World Series, they were in the NIA at the time, and they went to the World Series. There might have been a couple. Frank Russ with Middleton went to Clemson. Alan Hurt went to the Citadel. And I'm sorry, I can't think of a lot of them, but a few of them went to the Citadel or somewhere nearby.
Right.
Charleston Southern, per se.
I think for me, like Jeff Gaskins comes to mind.
Jeff ended up going to Winthrop, and I don't know if he was there 1 or 2 years, but yeah, he was
throwing hard.
He was probably the
age.
hardest thrower coming out of the playground. Yes, he was.
You were launched into high school ball over at St. Andrews, and it was Dave Spurlock was the coach?
My freshman year was Dave's his first year there. And he had a team that came over that won the state prior to, and we won the state my freshman year. And then
was that the spring of '79?
Yeah, we won '79.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What was that like for you? You were so young on that team.
Luckily for me, I was a starter. I wasn't expecting much my freshman year, and ended up starting in left field and doing some pitching. So, I mean, I enjoyed it.
How did you gravitate toward pitching in your early days?
I loved it. Don't get me wrong, to me, there's no better feeling than standing on that mound with that ball in your hand. Everything is revolving around you. Nothing happens without you get started. So I've always loved it. I wish I was still doing it today, but I just can't do it. But yeah, you get humbled very easily. I don't care how good it's going, somebody's going to humble you.
So your sophomore year at St. Andrews, were you slowly getting to be known as a very strong pitcher?
I would say yes. After my sophomore year, I was invited to I guess you call it a showcase for the Dodgers down in Hilton Head. So that was quite of an honor. I enjoyed that.
Did you develop some curveball action or slider type action?
Actually, I learned it when I was 14. And I used the same curveball forever. And then later on in life, after 2 elbow surgeries, I developed a natural cutter. And that helped me out a lot. So,
when did you need your first surgery?
Sophomore year in college. Okay. I actually hurt it my junior summer and didn't know what it was, but when it was warm, it was fine, but when it got cold, it hurt. It was like the fingers would go numb. And so after my sophomore year, he said, you need to go see a doctor, and we did, and it was bone chips. And it came out easy, and the next year, I had a lifetime year for me, so that was good. High school memory. Senior year, my last start, we were playing in the district championship, and pitched 13 innings and struck out 26. And then we lost out in the tournament. We went on a senior cruise, came back, and the Legion game was like 3 days later. Started that game, went 11, and struck out 27. So that was 2 pretty good back-to-back games.
What are some of your memorable moments in high school on the mound or at bat? In fact, one of our Rocks and Razorbacks participants said be sure to ask you about your bat. You were quite a batsman.
Yes, I have power. Was I a great hitter? I wouldn't say that. I was a streaky hitter. When I got hot, it lasted 2 weeks, but then when it came off, it was bad times. But yeah, every now and then I got a hold of one.
Let's jump to your senior year over at St. Andrews. Mm-hmm. How was your performance and record that your senior year, and did that help launch you into being a bullseye for like USC?
It was a little bit better than the year before. I never really won a lot of games. I think that they said I won 30 games over the 4 years, but so it wasn't like I just won a bunch of games. The scouts were coming. I guess I started my junior year, and I guess they saw the potential. But other than that, it wasn't like I had a phenomenal year. But yeah, I ended up getting drafted in the 6th round. So, but I chose not to go.
Out of high school?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And so why did you choose USC? Or did you have any choices?
I had a few choices, a lot more after I committed to South Carolina, but I don't think I would have gone anywhere else. I actually wanted to go to Clemson, but they never recruited me. So Carolina came, and it was an easy decision. No offense to the Citadel, but I'm at the Citadel eating hot dogs, and I went to Carolina, I'm eating steak. I kind of figured that out.
What was it like being recruited back then? So this is like the early 80s.
It was nothing like it is now. It didn't start as early as it does now. There's so much social media and people sending in stuff. It used to be word of mouth. So Because, I mean, like Johnny Hutton came to watch me pitch a game. Couldn't have picked a better game. Hit 2 home runs and threw a no-hitter. And he's like, I'm going to offer you a scholarship right now. When I asked him how he heard about me, and he said, well, there was a scout that saw me, and he mentioned you might want to come down here and look at it.
Fantastic. That is a good game. I think back in those days, baseball and other sports may not have been full scholarships.
No, they're still not. I didn't get a full scholarship until my last year. So, I mean, it was a good scholarship. I didn't have to pay too much, but yes.
Was it Coach June Raines back then for you?
Sure was.
Okay, all right. So what were your thoughts about Coach Raines?
I love Coach Raines. He didn't try to overpower anybody, or he had 2 rules. Be at the field on time, don't get in trouble. You know, so you show up, do good, you'll play.
Were you mainly pitching, or were you also batting?
All pitching.
Okay.
I had a couple games my freshman year that I DH'd, and then periodically my sophomore year or senior year pinch hit.
Were there any games that come to mind more than others that you can tell us about?
Yeah. Regionals 1984. My sophomore year wasn't having a good year. Like I said, I was trying to find a way to lose, not win. And so there were 2 other pitchers that were pitching better. They had 9 wins, I had 5. So they were pitching better. So our first game was against Mississippi State. They had Palmero, Will Clark, and a couple others. And Jim said, you got the ball. I was like, what? He said, yeah. So it just happened that me and another guy were playing catch, and I was playing around, throwing semi-sidearm, I call it a curveball, but now they call it a sweeper. And it was like, phew. And I was playing around, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna throw that pitch tomorrow night. Never thrown it in a game. And beat them 6-1, and they scored 1 run in the first inning. The only reason they scored the run is Will Clark hit a mile-high pop-up, and of course, in Mississippi State, they're all cooking. So it's filled with smoke in there, nobody could find it, and it landed right behind shortstop. And so I had hit Paul Merrill prior to, and so he walked around and scored. But yeah, that was the best game I ever pitched. That year, we won the first 2 and lost the next 2. And then my junior year, we went to the World Series.
What was that experience like for you?
It was great. I wish they would have played it like they played it now, where you play a day, got a day off, play a day. We lost 2 and came home. But we had a bad break in the first one. The game went 14 innings and we lost 1-0. So it was a bad loss. We used up all our pitching. And so,
were you able to make an appearance?
Oh, I started that game.
Wow.
I went 8 innings and they gave up me a run, scores.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Was that the year that you were named one of the All-Americans?
Yeah.
Good. Well, tell us about that experience.
I had no idea. I had a good year. I got 16-2. I had a chance. I knew the stats. I mean, everybody knows what's going on. And I didn't know it at the time, but was like warming up, or it was the first inning or something, and they got introduced the players. And on TV, they posted the All-American list. And I still didn't know. And so somebody came in later and told me, said, yeah, you made it. And I was like, yeah, that's great. Let's win another game or something here. So, but yeah, it was quite an honor. Yeah, I also found out in the airport on the way home that I got drafted by the Angels that year too. So, so it was a very interesting 2 days.
That was a great, yeah. I want to hear more about that.
After I got drafted, it was about a month, I guess, after I got drafted before I signed and got assigned to somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I went to Davenport, Iowa. Mm-hmm. And when I started throwing, my arm was hurting bad. I didn't know. And so I pitched a couple games, and they're like going, we drafted you in the first round? Man, my arm is killing me. So it ended up I missed the start, and we had a day off and we were playing golf. Never played in my life. Second hole, I break my ankle. It's like, this ain't good. So we called the team, and they said, yeah, go to the hospital. I said, yeah, you broke it. So 2 days later, said, you're going to California. Team doctor's going to look at you. I said, okay. So I got there, and he said, we're going to re-break it. We got to put a plate in it. I said, okay. So, but honestly, I think it was good for me, because it let my arm rest. because it was a lot of innings, and I hadn't pitched that many innings in a while in college. And so they said it was just fatigue. So rehab, got everything better, went to camp next year. And that's about it. First three batters were like Bob Boone, Reggie Jackson, and somebody else. And I guess Mock liked what he saw, and he asked me to throw another hitter. I said, sure. So camp went well, but I knew I wasn't going up. So they sent me to AA. So good. Mediocre. I think I was like 4-6. Had a good ERA, but just a bad losing record. So Candelaria got hurt. Coach called me in the office. He said, I got some good news and bad news for you. The bad news is you made the All-Star team and you're not going. I said, oh, what's the good news? He says, you're going to Anaheim and you're starting tomorrow. I said, okay, good trade-off.
All right.
So,
That sounds like a scene from Moneyball.
yeah. But the start went one good inning and one mediocre inning and a real bad inning. So I made a couple more appearances and they sent me back to AAA. So.
What goes through your head? Because, I mean, some of us can only dream of having an experience like that. What goes through your head as you're approaching the mound at the major league level?
For me, high school, college, pro, I had nervous before every start. Didn't care what it was, it's just me. When I got on the field, I was fine. I did good. The first batter I struck out, and then I got an out and an out. So, yeah.
That's got to feel good.
But when they went through the lineup, when they made the adjustment, I didn't make the adjustment. So, that's on me. So, but I learned. It took a while, but I learned. But there you got to start spending time with coaches. So, so for me it was great because I never had one, but I kind of struggled because I was like, no, I know how to do this. It's like, okay, we'll see you go back to AAA or whatever. But yeah, when I figured it all out, it was too late.
Being the 19th selection in the first round had a lot of well-known players in it.
For forever, that was the best draft. Yeah, because there's a lot of Hall of Famers on that list. Yeah.
Barry Bonds, I think, was on there.
Barry Bonds, Palmeiro Clark, B.J. Surhoff, Incaviglia. Oh, the list goes on and on. There's even people in that draft that weren't high picks, like Maddox. So,
Greg Maddox?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
What was your favorite part of being a professional?
I guess just the whole atmosphere. Not all the parks were the greatest parks, but a lot of them were. The travel was nice, the accommodations, I mean, everything is nice. You stay in better cities. And so, but yeah, I mean, traveling across country, it's nice to have your own plane. Don't get me wrong. Late night commercial flight would be more than you want to handle.
How many different professional organizations did you end up in?
I played in 6. Started with the Angels, got traded to the Twins, released a couple years and then signed with the Mariners, got hurt. Then I signed with the Cardinals, Orioles, and Twins. I mean, Orioles and Mets. So.
At some point it sounded like well, this is a business and
oh, yeah.
They're making business decisions.
Yeah, I started realizing, I'd say about my 4th year after you get released or whatever and you're not the prospect anymore. You realize you're on a roster in AAA. You are either a roster spot or you're there till somebody comes up. So,
right.
But I was lucky with the Orioles. I did get called up. I did good and they called me up. However, I was home for 2 weeks after our season ended and phone rang and says, hey, you think you can still pitch? And I'm like, who is this? Then he told me and I said, there's like 5 days left in the season. So I'm like, yeah, I can pitch. And so my dad's going, who is that? I said, no, hold on a second. Do you have a registered flight for Mike Cook? Yeah. I said, okay, I'm not going to work tomorrow. So, but yeah, it was funny. I mean, I got up there and they're like, "You're in." I was like, had first and third, no outs, and says, "I don't want nobody to score." Oh, I'm glad you don't want that. But yeah, I mean, granted, the ball was smoked, but it was a line drive right at Cal's feet, and like I say, it was smoked. So he couldn't catch it, went under his legs. So one run scored, then I had a double play, and the second baseman dropped the ball. Had another double play. But yeah, so that's how it was. And ended up pitching another game. It was good. So
There are a lot of special moments, but what about when you saw yourself, your face, on a baseball trading card?
oh, that was the coolest. I never knew they were out there, and it was, God, the year after when they came out, and some kid goes, "You signed this?" And I'm like, "Ah, sure." I thought, "Hey, that's my card." That's pretty cool. But yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully you've kept some of your own.
There might be a couple around there, but to be honest with you, when I left home, I gave all that stuff to my mom, and she gave it back. And when I came back home, and I don't know where it is. I gave my brother some, and I don't know what he did with them. So,
Do you ever find yourself going to the ballpark if you have time and just watching the young people like today playing?
never have time. I actually love baseball, love it, but I don't watch it. I'll catch highlights. I'll read every box score in the world, but I can't watch a whole game because I'm not involved in it. So it's hard for me to stay motivated to watch it. I watch a lot of Carolina games when they're on TV, but other than that, I don't watch too much. I'll watch the playoffs. I'll get into the playoffs.
And when Carolina won the back-to-back College World Series, were you able to watch that?
Oh, I watched every inning. I was so happy for them. I mean, I didn't do it, but I'm glad somebody finally did it. We've been there enough that we've had, 3 or 4 runners up and finally got the 2 champions. So, yeah.
My brother Eddie and I will often say it's hard to be a Gamecock fan.
Yeah, we got women's basketball now, though.
Women's basketball. You made it to Carolina's Athletic Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
Oh, I'm honored. Yes, I am. It takes a lot to get in there. And at one point, I gave up. I'm like, I'm not going to make it. So I guess the year that I got elected, they called me and I was at work. And of course, where I work, I can't hear anything. Call me back later. And so when I got a chance to talk with him, he said, congratulations.
Well, I have to ask you this about today's world, the NIL and the money in collegiate sports. That none of us they've been around long enough, alive long enough to witness what's been going on.
I feel sorry for the colleges because there's no loyalty. You can't build anything unless you're fortunate enough to have enough money to build something for 1 year. I think it hurts college sports, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I like some money when I was playing at college, absolutely. But I wouldn't have traded where I was at for anything. I can't think of one place that we played or one team that we played against that you could tell me that was better than where I was at.
When you look back over your career, what comes to mind? Professional ranks, USC, or St. Andrews, or heck, Playground Road?
Yeah. I guess my most memorable is college. It started out good the first year. The second year was mediocre. It was like I found a way to not win. And then my junior year, it all clicked. And in high school, yeah, I had some buddies that we did stuff together all the time. But all of the college guys, we all got together and we have golf outings like every other year. We try to get together and it's been enjoyable. Pro ball, I enjoyed it. I had some good years and I had some bad years, but it just seemed like I was always looking over my shoulder. It wasn't like I felt like, yeah, I belong here. And probably that's my fault for taking it that approach. But when I figured it all out, it was too late.
So the last thing I have for you, Mike, is I printed out some comments from our Rocks and Razorbacks site
Okay.
mentioning I'm going to talk to you if they have anything they want me to ask you.
Do I have to answer all of them?
Well, no.
Okay. All right.
There is the magic of editing. And so this is the first one. This one's from Steve West. Don't forget that Cookie could flat out hit the baseball not only in high school, but at Carolina. He was a true dual threat on the diamond.
I'm not going to say dual threat in college, no. I only batted 13 times. I did hit 2 home runs and 1 double, so it wasn't like I was, but everybody knows it's hard to just go out there and hit. Now at 5 o'clock, I was the best hitter on the team. So that was about it.
All right. Billy Buck, ask him about the College World Series versus Arkansas.
Yeah, I think what he may be asking about was how I got removed from the game.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'd pitched the 8 innings, and our DH wasn't coming up in the order to hit. Coach Raines pinch hit me for the catcher. We had done it during the year twice. Nobody ever saw anything. Nobody knew what the rule was. We just did it and swapped out the DH. They let me hit, and I went back out to warm up for the next inning, and the Arkansas coach said, no. That's an illegal substitution. And after a lengthy rule book reading, say, yep, you're done. So that's how I left the game.
Oh my gosh.
So,
And Billy Buck remembered that. How about
yeah.
that? Randy Huffman, if memory serves me right, he pitched against Roger Clemens in the College World Series.
No. Roger was a year before me. Greg Swindell was a stud from Texas that year. But we didn't face him.
Okay.
We were home watching him.
Steve Dupree writes, stud on the mound and the plate. Enjoyed many Fort Johnson versus St. Andrews games.
Yes, he did.
With Mike.
Played Legion ball with him too. We had some good battles. Us and Fort Johnson, it was a freshman year to senior year. There was battles every year. Now that pitcher from Fort Johnson, the young Glaze or the middle Glaze guy that got that knuckleball, I wanted to take him behind a tree. That was
Break his
nasty.
fingers.
Oh, that was nasty. I couldn't hit it with a boat paddle.
So Terrell Frazier writes, I remember Mike Cook was in high school and drafted by Philadelphia.
Yes, that
That's
is
true.
correct. And I got an interesting story or my thought on this for kids that are coming up on the draft. Back then the money wasn't like it was now, but either way, as the scouts were there, and at my last year there were a lot of scouts, and they were telling me, first to third round. So when it came out in the 6th round, I was let down. Yeah, it hurt a little bit, but I called June. I said, June, what's the deal here? I said, I got a 6th round. I'm not happy. I want to come to you. He said, it's a good offer. You should take it. I said, but that's not what they told me. That's not what I wanted. He said, well, it's your decision. So my dad was mad. I said, no. I set my number. I set my round. That's not what I wanted. The money's not what I wanted. I set my goal. I'm going to college. And he was mad. I'm sorry, but in my mind, that's what I wanted. So anybody that's getting drafted, know what you want and know where you want it. Set your number, stick with it.
Thanks for watching today's episode, and be on the lookout for additional episodes. If you'd like to be a guest or even a host in the Rocks and Razorbacks podcast, please let us know. We want the podcast to be the go-to place for cherished Middleton and St. Andrews memories. Don't forget, the Rocks and Razorbacks documentary geared for South Carolina ETV is in production, and we'd love your input and help with that as well. For now, go Rocks and, go Hogs. Well, you get it. Thanks.